Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Mark Dannenberg, and I am here talking about some pretty fantastic stuff that we've been doing at Options Moneymaker and New Cycle Trading and Analytics. I sincerely appreciate those of you who are joining me this evening. So let me be respectful of your time and get going here. What I'm going to show you this evening are three primary things. Okay, I want to show you number one, how to turn a $5,000 account into over $100,000, possibly 178,000 or more, and you'll understand why I'm giving you a range of numbers there here as we get into some of the detail. But that's turning $5,000 into greater than $100,000 in 12 months. And a lot of the detail that I'm going to share with you this evening is based on trading NASDAQ 100 futures. That's what we've been trading. But I'm also going to be sharing with you tonight the second thing, key tools that we've created and used to accomplish this this growing from 5,000 to over 100,000. Number one is the adaptive entry system. It's a market metrics software tool that allows us to identify when a good time to get into a trade is and when a good time to get out of a trade is. The second tool that we created for you as a community of traders is the personal trading plan, which is one of the most powerful tools but simple to use that every trader needs to have in their arsenal. That's how you're going to know how much you're projected to make over a 12-month period. And I'm going to share with you our personal trading plans where we've tracked for the last 12 months account growth, and you're going to see why there's a range of, over 100,000 to possibly 178,000 or more. And then the third thing I'm going to share with you is how those same adaptive entry system software signals can be used to trade anything. We've primarily focused in the past year on NASDAQ 100 futures. That's where we decided to spend our focus time in our live trading environment. Every one of the trades we took was in a live trading environment in front of our community of traders. And it gave us an opportunity to focus on one particular equity, one derivative, and allow us an opportunity to really teach our community how to effectively trade the adaptive entry system software signals. However, those same signals, which I'm going to show you tonight, can be used to buy and sell stocks if you want to try to time your purchase of a stock and the sale of a stock more profitably for yourself. They can be used to trade options on indexes, on ETFs, on stocks. They can be used to trade futures, as we do on the NASDAQ 100 futures, but certainly you can trade Dow futures, Russell 2000 futures, gold, S&P 500 futures, silver, copper, oil, whatever you choose to trade. And they can also be used for those of you who might be getting into the cryptocurrency market. Can be used to trade crypto. The common denominator here is the adaptive entry system software. And so everything I'm going to share with you tonight is driven from that, and the results that I'm going to share with you is a result of having traded the adaptive entry system software in a live trading environment. Now, before we get into some of the details, I want to give you a kind of a high level bit of information here. Trading option stocks, futures, and even cryptocurrency is an activity that has been, it's seen significant growth in the last few years, and particularly in the last 18 months. According to the Options Clearinghouse, there's 28 million options contracts that change hands on an average day. And the vast majority of those, the highest percentage of those, are not big institutional traders. The vast majority of those are individual traders, retail traders who are trading one contract, five contracts, small volume of contracts, but a big deal to the individual trader. Also, according to the Futures Industry Association's 21.9 billion contracts were traded in just a 6-month period. Lots of activity in the futures market. Now, the cool thing is we trade NASDAQ 100 futures, as you're going to see, and the equity index futures and options had the greatest growth of all of that, up 51% from prior year. Cryptocurrencies, from what I can gather, are trading about 300,000 transactions per day, and that is growing. So if you want to be part of the cryptocurrency market, I'm going to show you when you should get in and when you should get out, when you should go long, when you should go short, and then you can trade your crypto. So the opportunity for traders, no matter what you're focused on, and whether you're new, brand new, maybe you're just joining me this evening because you saw the email that we sent out, invitation to come and learn something tonight, and maybe you are thinking about maybe learning how to trade. This is ideal for you. If you're experienced, you have a lot of years of experience, this is also for you because um, now is a very prime time to be participating in trading. It's really never been better. And I'm going to show you the tools that will help you make your trading even more effective. Now, the problem that I see, I read stories in the news, I browse through chat forums and everything. And the problem that I see is that far too many people have an idea about getting involved in trading, but they don't really know what they're doing. They have no knowledge at all about what they're doing. They have no data, they have no experience, they have no education, and unfortunately, they're influenced by what I personally refer to as the Wild West of trading, which are chat forums. Chat forums frequently exist, particularly around cryptocurrency, where it's a lot of people telling each other what they should do, and no one in that group seems to really know what they're doing. It's all speculation. I was browsing through some chat forums recently, and I was looking at all the messages back and forth about, well, when do you think it's the right time to buy Bitcoin? Should I sell? Oops, I held my Bitcoin too long. When would you sell? It's these messages going back and forth. Well, no actual factual data helping each other. I want to share with you tonight some data that would really set you apart from the crowd if you decide you want to trade crypto, or you want to trade stocks, or you want to trade options, or you want to trade futures. It's really imperative that you have the right tools, you have the right education, you have the right mindset in order to participate successfully in any type of trading. We here at New Cycle Trading and Analytics and Options Moneymaker, we view trading activity as a business. There's an entirely different mindset when you think of trading as a small business, your own personal small business that you decided to start. It is, in my opinion, one of the best businesses that you can get into. It requires work, it requires effort, it requires a commitment on your part, it requires some financial commitment and some time, but it can be one of the best small businesses available. When it's when trading is done properly and it's viewed and managed as a business, it's really easy to see why there are huge advantages over most traditional small businesses. Now, there's a lot of great small businesses out there, but if you're in a retail store, you've got to have storefront and space. You got to have inventory in your store. You got to have salespeople. You got to have employees, and there's a lot of expense involved in having that business. Perhaps you have a trucking company. You got to have a fleet of trucks. You got to have a warehouse. You got to hire drivers. You have to have a marketing or sales team in order to go out and find your business. Whatever type of business that you may own, especially if it's a brick and mortar business, there's a lot of overhead expense associated with that. And of course, there is risk associated with that. If you simply learn how to use the tools that we've created for traders and understand how you can create an income for yourself without all of the traditional overhead and requirements of what you would consider to be a traditional small business, you're going to start to understand why I view trading as the best small business that you could possibly get into. One of those reasons really became very predominantly apparent in the last 18 months, and that was the worldwide pandemic that all of us experienced, and it affected most every single small business. How many people do you know that might have owned or worked in or managed a restaurant or a retail store or a workout facility, a gym, or any type of business that was shut down because of restrictions that were imposed by nearly every state here in the United States? There's a lot of businesses that really suffered their way through this and trying to survive, and their employees were affected. Well, trading, the type of trading that I'm talking about, and the income that is derived from trading was not affected negatively at all. As long as you have an internet connection, As long as you have a computer and you have the right tools, which is a minimum investment, in my opinion, compared to the profit opportunity, the income opportunity that you have in front of you, trading can be done from anywhere. As long as you have the right tools and the right connection, trading can be done from anywhere. So if you decided you wanted to go on vacation, or you decided you wanted to escape the city, you live in the city, and go to the country, as long as you've got an internet connection, you can trade. I love to travel. I have a configuration with my laptop that is set up specifically for trading while I travel. And I love to go to a cottage that my family has had for 40 years, and I love to hang out there. As long as I have an internet connection wherever I go, I can trade and I can work and I can generate income. Trading can be a backup income. Perhaps you have a great job or a great business that you love, you're really passionate about, but it's not a bad idea to have something in your back pocket, something that backs you up in case some unexpected event, much like a worldwide pandemic, all of a sudden negatively affects your job, your business, and your ability to generate income from that. It can be used as a primary income. We have a lot of people in our community that have transitioned from their traditional income to trading as a primary income, or it can be a supplemental income, just bonus money, something else that you decide to add to your family income. Regardless of what your motivation is, regardless of what you would desire to make, trading, in my opinion, is the best small business that you could start. It requires some time, it requires a commitment of money, it requires a commitment of learning. But once you have learned that, it's a skill set that nobody can take away from you and you will have for the rest of your life. So here at Options Moneymaker and New Cycle Trading and Analytics, Options Moneymaker is the side of the business that really focuses on education, focuses on training, focuses on developing education programs and helping people learn how to trade futures and how to trade options. We don't teach how to trade cryptocurrency yet, although we're starting to take a look at that. So I can't teach you how to trade crypto, but if you're a knowledgeable crypto trader, I can tell you when you should get into a crypto trade and when you should get out of a crypto trade, and that's what I'm going to show you tonight. New Cycle Trading and Analytics is a side of the business that has just invested a tremendous amount of thought, energy, and money in developing the market metrics software that allows us to very effectively trade the markets no matter what direction the market is headed, no matter whether it's got a strong rise to the upside or a big sell-off, or whether there's a lot of cycling going on, really trending nowhere at all. We can trade all those markets. But we've developed together the tools that you need to create a profitable trading business. So there's three parts of this that I'm going to go through with you tonight, and I'm going to just give you an overview here. Then I'm going to get into the specifics. I'm going to show you the software, and I'm going to show you the tool that we used to actually generate from $5,000 to over $100,000 in the last 12 months. The adaptive entry system is our next generation of what we call market analytics. And it uses a very, very simple systems approach to tracking price movement. And it allows traders to be able to follow the natural sequence of price cycles. Even when you have a strong rising price momentum or a strong sell-off, there are reverse cycles within that trend. If I see the market just going straight up, somebody will tell me it's just done nothing but go straight up today. I will always somewhat tongue-in-cheek argue with that person and say, well, no, it didn't go straight up. It went up and then it pulled back a little bit. It went up and it pulled back a little bit. So you have all these cycles. There are patterns and series of cycles that exist in every market momentum, every market wave. And the adaptive entry system allows us to actually take advantage of all of those cycles, no matter which direction the overall market is moving. There are four distinct entry signals within the adaptive entry system, which follow the trend, follows that retracement that I just mentioned, and then it captures the continuation of the price patterns. All right, so we're going to show you that here in just a minute. And before we do that, I want to give you a quick overview of the financial planning and forecasting, the personal trading plan. We built the personal trading plan specifically for traders to get away from the what happens today affects me tremendously emotionally. Traders tend to go through these emotional roller coasters. I had a really great day today. I feel good. I lost today. I didn't feel very good. And it's this emotional roller coaster. But I found over my years of trading, and particularly the last 14, 15 years of teaching traders how to effectively trade, I found that the majority of them don't really keep an eye on the future goal. They're so preoccupied with now and today that they lose sight of the fact that they have an established pattern of trades, combinations of winning trades and losing trades that defines a performance run rate that if they were to project that out forward for 12 months, they would actually be on pace to have a pretty healthy income. I'm going to show you our personal trading plan tonight. I'm going to show you how you can tweak it to make it your own. You can plan the amount of capital that you want to commit and the risk limits. You can forecast when to scale up those commitments. You can always see on a daily basis what your 12-month profit or income forecast is. And outside of market hours, you can do some planning. What's your starting capital? We started with $5,000. What's your risk commitment? Well, we're going to talk about risk commitment. What's your profit production? How much are you averaging? And when is it time for you to maybe increase the amount of capital that you want to commit to an individual trade? The personal trading plan also limits overtrading because it helps you answer the question every single day, when is enough enough? I've seen traders trade the entire day, and maybe the first 2 hours of the day, they were up very, very nicely, had very strong profits, and then they gave it all back and then some later in the day. So it's not there's no one right answer for every single trader. But if you know what your goal is, if you know what your 12-month desired income is, and if your personal trading plan is helping you see that you are on pace to hit your personal income goal, then once you've hit that number for the day, it might be a good idea to stop trading and step away. Trading doesn't have to be a full-time business. Trading can on some days be a 1 hour business. I met my goal and I'm done. We done for the day. We have a lot of people in our live trading room that will tell us early in the day, I made my plan for the day, so I will see you tomorrow. So we have a lot of people that are with us in the morning when the market opens, and we have far fewer people that are with us in the afternoon when maybe the majority of people have already hit their goal earlier in the day. So it provides this limit to understanding when is enough enough. So think about just for a minute what you would choose for your 12-month income, and we're going to come back to the personal trading plan here in just a moment. We also offer, I mentioned the live trading room. This is ongoing real-time support. We have a team of experienced traders who are actually helping our community identify the adaptive entry system signals on a daily basis, and we are trading those signals. Somebody asked me in an email when I sent out the invitation for this webinar this evening, are your results back-tested results, historical, back-tested, or are they live? We take every single trade as it's presented. We record that trade as it's presented, as we call it out to our community of traders. We record it in a database, whether it is a winning trade or a losing trade. We notate that, and then we have at the end of the day a daily summary that shows in each of the different categories, did we win today, did we lose today, and then we're able to transfer that performance data into our personal trading plan. So everything that we're talking about this evening and all the performance results that I'm showing you are based on actual live trading. And we're not just live trading, one of my team members doing it on their own somewhere in their own personal home office. This is in front of an audience, a community of traders who join us every single day in our live trading room. So we show the results at the end of the day. They can see whether we won or lost on the trade. It's all very transparent and above board. I don't believe in basing my performance success criteria on back testing. There's too many variables that are not captured in back testing that are captured in live trading. So what I'm sharing with you tonight is all based on live trading. So it's all about education, performance tracking, and live trading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to our personal trading. No, sorry, I'm going to jump over to our there we go, adaptive entry system, to our adaptive entry system. So this is what it looks like. Now what I'm showing you is, first of all, a 5-minute chart. We happen to trade the NASDAQ 100 futures, NQ futures, on a 5-minute chart throughout um, our live trading room day. Now, this does not mean that you're out of the game if you don't know how to trade futures. First of all, we have programs to teach you how to trade futures, and it's really very simple. We use futures on a 5-minute chart because it provides a lot of activity throughout the day, and we have a lot of people who are both experienced and just learning the adaptive entry system signals, and it provides us a tremendous opportunity to explain the signals, taking the signal, how to transition from one signal to a next signal, when we should close that trade. So we've consciously chosen the NASDAQ 100 futures because of the amount of activity. But I could just as easily be showing you the Russell 2000 futures, which we have over here. I could be showing you the S&P 500 futures. I can be showing you the Dow futures, and I can be showing you any futures contract. Once you learn how to interpret and understand the adaptive entry system software, you can pretty much trade whatever you choose. And then we're going to get into talking about options, and I'm going to share a little bit on cryptocurrency here in just a minute. But first of all, let me give you a quick overview of the adaptive entry system. When we designed the adaptive entry system, we consciously did so in a way that it was ultra user friendly. I've traded for over 35 years personally, and I'm one of those traders who was always looking at multiple different indicators. And when a trade comes on, I'm scanning the chart, looking at, I might be exaggerating, but 15 different indicators, trying to determine whether they line up, do they look the way I want them to in order to take the trade. Well, that gets exhausting, even if you're using 3 or 4 indicators. And people in the trading communities are always looking for different combinations of signals that they think will work. Well, we invested thousands of hours in our own research and testing of combinations of different indicators. And then what we did when we arrived at something that we felt was rock solid, we programmed that into a simple to interpret single signal. And the way it's presented is these green and red vertical bars are simply telling us when it's time to go long, which means on a futures contract when we think that the price of the underlying derivative is going to move higher, and the red is when we think that the price of the underlying derivative may move lower. There are 4 signals. There's a signal labeled with a T. A red T means that there's a new trend possibly beginning that is a short trend, meaning the price is likely to move lower. There's a green T, which means that we're likely to see the price move higher. There's a green C and there's a red C. Those are consensus signals. Of course, the green means likely to move higher. The red means likely to move lower. And then there is a M, there's a red and green M, which is a momentum signal. Momentum signals are almost always counter trend signals. So when you're in a decreasing trend, a declining trend, which is evidenced by the red price bars, these price bars right here, open, high, low, close price bars. When they're red, it means that we are seeing an overall declining market. Within that decline, you might see a green M, which is a counter trend signal. It means that there's a high probability that we're going to see a counter trend move, a pullback up before we start moving lower again. So here, there were 2 counter trend moves in this declining cycle, one here. That's the green M, means we're going to go long. We're actually going to see the price likely move higher, although it's in a declining trend. So here, that was a profitable trade. Here, that was a profitable trade, even though they were moving in the opposite direction of the trend. And then you can see in both cases that once that minor reversal had completed itself, that we resumed with resumed the original declining trend. And then the last signal, the fourth signal, is what's labeled as a T plus. That is identifying a continuation of the trend. So let me just get into regular market hours here. If I go back here, I can see that on the NASDAQ 100 futures on a 5-minute chart, we have a consensus signal here to go long, and it's highlighting on a blue bar. Blue is always a long trend. In fact, the second blue bar in a new series is an indication that we have now officially started a trend. The first blue bar tells us that we're just maybe hinting towards a long trend. Once we have a second blue bar, we're officially in a trend, and you can see what happened here. We started that trend with a consensus, a long consensus, and you can see what happened here. The price moved up significantly, allowing a lot of profit opportunity along the way. So if you'd taken your profit, say in here, initial profits, because we're generally not holding for the entire trend, that's great. Take your profit, get out. Now you've got another opportunity to get in with a consensus signal. I can just tell by the size of the bars, there was a nice profit by the second bar. And then you have a counter trend momentum signal. So you're going to go short there. You're going to take a nice profit there. That actually moved 14 points, 13 and a half points. That's plenty of profit for what we're looking for on the NASDAQ 100 futures. And then you're out of that and you're waiting, and now here's your continuation signal. This continuation signal is a T plus to go long. You're most likely in that and then out by the next bar, maybe even on the entry bar, all on a 5-minute chart. And then you've got another entry consensus signal and then another continuation signal. So I can look at these all day long. I can look at rising trends. I can look at declining trends, and I can look also at time frames that are kind of flat. A lot of times the overnight, like midnight hours into 3 a.m. Eastern, are kind of flat, but you're still going to get signals, and there are small movements which allow profit opportunities if that is something that you're interested in doing. The thing that I like about trading futures is they trade 23 hours a day. So no matter what time of day you want to trade, what time zone that you happen to reside in, what's convenient for you around your life schedule, work, family, etc., you can find an opportunity to trade futures. So by presenting these signals in a color-coded price bar and a color-coded vertical labeled bar, we very simply just say, listen, green long, red short. That's really as simple as it is. And the underlying algorithms that make up these signals are all the complexities of all the different indicators that we felt needed to be viewed and looked at together, looking for consensus of those signals. But rather than putting all of those signals on the chart and having you figure out which indicators are aligned and which aren't, we just very simply coded it into a simple to interpret single signal. So that's the NASDAQ 100 futures. And if I just jumped over to the Russell 2000, it's almost like you could blank out the upper left-hand corner here that tells you exactly what equity or what derivative we're looking at. And you don't need to know what it is. All you need to know is, how do I interpret and read the adaptive entry system? So here's my signal to go short. Now I happen to be on the Russell 2000 now, 5-minute chart. Here's my signal to go short. Okay, I'm out of that trade. Here's my signal to go long, counter trend signal on a momentum. Here's my next signal to go short. Here's a trend continuation, the T plus, That was a nice move there for the Russell. This one looks like it didn't work out as well. Counter trend signal, momentum to go long. I only moved like a half of a point, but then you're out of it on the next bar for very minor, looks like a very minor loss. and then you're in a nice continuation signal that makes up a really nice gain. Another continuation signal makes up a nice gain, momentum signal to go long here, and so on and so forth. Once you understand how to read these charts, you can look at anything. You can look at any underlying stock or index, futures contract, and even crypto. So let me emphasize that point and jump to a stock. Amazon happens to be a stock that I enjoy keeping an eye on. And with stocks, because I'm either going to buy the stock or I am trading options on the stock, I like to look at a 30-minute chart. What you're going to find is that you can look at the adaptive entry system signals on pretty much any time frame. We use 5 minutes for actively trading futures, but you might choose to use a 15-minute chart or a 3-minute chart. That just comes from personal experience as a trader and making your own decisions about what you want to trade. Regardless of what time frame, the interpretation of the signals is going to be identical. So here I am on a stock, Amazon, and I'm looking at a 30-minute chart. You see the same pattern of M's, C's, T's, T pluses. You see the same pattern of blue price bars and red price bars. And all of these are opportunities to take profits. Not all of your trades are going to be profitable. You're going to see in our live trading room that we have losing trades. We have losing days. But when I get to the personal trading plan, you're going to see why we don't focus on that. We focus on the big picture and what that has done for us and our trading community. So here's a great example right here with Amazon. Amazon started a new trend at 11:30 a.m. New trend because it was the second blue price bar in a new series. That white bar kind of broke up whatever was happening prior, and now we've got our second blue price bar. 11:30 in the morning on June 2nd. Okay, the stock was trading at 34.42. I'm going to round off 34.42. And a couple bars later, it was trading up to 34.89. So that's 47 points. Now, is that a lot? Well, the way I personally like to trade options and the way I personally teach people how to trade options is always try to start with an at the money option. You have to choose your expiration, you have to choose your strike, but I like to choose a strike that's at the money. If you're not familiar with trading options, when I say at the money, it means that the strike price is about as close to the actual price of the stock as it can be. That's at the money. And that there's a factor in options trading called the delta. The delta will help you determine approximately how much the value of the option is going to change based on each $1 change in the value of the underlying stock. So if Amazon were to go up $10, I expect with a 50 delta, at the money options are typically a 50 delta. That means that if Amazon goes up $10, the option price is going to go up about $5, 50% of the price movement. So here was a 40-point price movement. That means you had probably somewhere around a $20 profit, and each one options contract equates to 100 shares. So $20 times 100 shares of the underlying stock, that one contract is $2,000. There's a $2,000 profit right there, just simply between 11:30 a.m. on June 2nd and 12:30 a.m. on June 2nd. So then if you're still trading, now this is later in the day, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. You have to make a decision when you're trading options if you want to trade and hold something overnight. But if you've taken the signal is valid. It's a trend continuation signal. The stock is at 34.88 when you're getting into that trend continuation signal. This is one that you could have gotten out an hour later for about $15 of profit. If you held overnight, you're you have a beautiful trade of about 120 points, which is 60 points of profit, $6,000 on one contract if you decided to exit when the price of the stock jumped at the open of the market the next day. So when I talked on the NASDAQ 100 futures about following the signals and following the trends, the same logic holds true on trading stocks. And where there's some experience that's required in order for you to do this successfully is, first of all, deciding, do you want to trade futures? Do you want to trade stocks? Do you want to trade options? Regardless, we can help you learn the specifics, gain the skill set that you need in order to trade any of those. The common denominator here is, of course, the adaptive entry system software. It doesn't matter what you decide to trade. You're still going to be using the same adaptive entry system software because that's the power. That's where your power is going to come from. That's where your trades are going to come from. This looks a little flatter here. Certainly didn't have the benefit of that big spike. Second red bar is starting of a new trend. Amazon, that was at 3:30 in the afternoon on the 21st of June, 34.48. And let's see here, the next day on that white bar, if you weren't out of it already, it actually got down to a low of 34.09. So you would have had $2,000 of profit on that trade right there. But if you weren't out of it, before this, you'd be out on the white bar. The white bar is a neutral status, and we're going to take the trade off. So when you have access to the adaptive entry system software, you can spend some of your time going back and you can just simply look at the simplicity of the signals. Here's another long signal that came on at 12 o'clock on the 29th of June. And it, let's see where that comes, 34.35. Geez, the next bar, you're up to 34.53. 18 points, there's $900 of profit there. And then you can gain some experience and decide, what sort of a profit target do you have for your trading? In this case, if I just held until the neutral bar came on, I'm in at 34.35. That's the price of the stock at the time that the signal came on. And at the time that that neutral bar came on, 34.59. So you've got 24 points of movement, price movement, and half of that at a 50 delta is about $12 of profit. And on a single contract, that's $1,200. So this is not unique to Amazon. I could look at any of the stocks that are on my personal watch list and take a look at Tesla. Tesla's got some really amazing moves, and these signals are pretty incredible to identify them. I might not have taken this big move down right here on that single bar, but on the next bar I did, and you can see here how nicely that moved and continued to move lower before the neutral bar would have told you to take the trade off. See, we tried to simplify the entry and the exit. People get a lot of anxiety. Traders seem to function with a lot of anxiety, or, well, should I hold longer? If I get out now, what if it goes higher? So it's always the fear of losing out and the fear of missing out that is controlling traders. And we hope that in our design of the adaptive entry system, we've taken into account that tendency towards emotionally biased decision making, and just simply said, listen, have a profit target for yourself, predetermined profit target, and when you hit it, you're out. But if you're not out by the time you have a neutral bar, then you're out and you take the trade off. This is a really nice trade here, even if you took it off right there. Here's a long bias that we would still be in, would have gotten into it today at 1 o'clock. Hasn't gone super high yet, but we'd still be in the trade and holding that overnight. So let me bounce now over to crypto, and I'm going to pick on Bitcoin because it's one of the most commonly recognized. Again, I could just put a black cover over what it is that we're looking at, and I could tell you when we're going to get in and when we're going to get out. So now I'm going to say, listen, I personally do not trade cryptocurrency, although we're taking a look at it here in our internal trading team. But I would, and I don't I don't say what I'm going to say. I'm not saying it to sound or be arrogant. I'm just saying, listen, if I was at a convention of crypto traders and there's 2,000 crypto traders sitting in a room in front of me, I would tell them very frankly, I've never traded crypto. You guys can educate me on how to do it, but I'm going to tell you when you should buy and when you should sell. And that is the key to success, because all of those crypto traders that are out there asking each other for advice, they don't know, and they're not giving each other good advice. It's all speculation, and whoever has the loudest voice tends to get the win, and everybody follows them. And they're not really winning based on anything other than an emotional impulse. Once again, here's my long signal on Bitcoin, or here's my long signal on Bitcoin right here, and it moved quite a bit higher here on that. Let's see, where'd my, hold on just a second. There we go. This long signal came on on July 6th, a couple days ago, and Bitcoin was trading at 34,021. And by the time the trend was done, it was trading at 34,701. So a $680 move on Bitcoin, and it might have been a good time to close out then, depending on how you're trading Bitcoin. You know, here's another move, small little move to the upside. Didn't lose anything, didn't make a whole lot on it, but it was profitable. And then here's a short, made a little bit on that, and you're out. Here's another short, and you can see how significant that is. So the people who go short are people who want to actually take advantage of the opportunity to make a profit on the decrease in price. That happens with futures, that happens with options. Um, if you don't short things like cryptocurrency, wouldn't you want to know that this is a time for you to get out? If you're holding crypto long, this is your time to exit and then wait for your next opportunity to get in, which would be down here. Now, when it printed its first signal to go short here after a series of little jagged moves, uh, Bitcoin was trading at 34,578. You have an opportunity to get back in down here when it's trading at 32,877. That's a huge decrease right there, and a big opportunity for wise, savvy traders who are willing to learn how to use a very effective software tool. So that is I'll just put up one other crypto. This is, what is this, Ethereum. You know, here's your signal to go short. You can see what happened there. Here was a signal to go short. Small move there, neutralize it there. Might have a small loss in there if you're trading short. There's a couple of jagged moves in here. Here's your bigger moves to go long. Nice move to the upside. You're going to have some of these jagged moves, sideways moves where it's not really trending. You're going to have those whether you're an options trader or a futures trader or crypto trader or buying stocks. That's just part of the game. So maybe here you got out for a small profit or a small loss. Here you're back in again, you got out for a small profit or small loss. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for the ones that really move. And that's what the adaptive entry system is able to identify for you. We don't know when we get into a long trend how fast or how far it's going to move, but we know that it's indicating a possibility of a rising trend. But now here it said, nope, take it off the table because it's neutral. Here we're short, moved a little bit, maybe didn't take our profit, it's off the table. And then if we're diligent and consistent about managing our business, here you go. There's a big run for you right there. And you can just go back and you can look at all of these cycles, higher, lower, and I'm going to emphasize this again before I move to our personal trading plan. It doesn't matter what you're trading. It does not matter whether you're trading stocks, options, futures, or what kind of futures you're trading, or crypto. The adaptive entry system software is going to help you identify when to get in and when to get out. And personally, in my opinion, that right there is 92% of any trader's ability to be successful. The other 8% is having a couple simple tools, which I'm going to show you next. And part of it is having the discipline to stay attentive to your business even when things are not working out well. Remember I mentioned before businesses that are affected by the pandemic. Well, what if it's not a pandemic impact? What if you have a trucking company, you've got storage warehouse, you've got drivers, you've got sales force, and well, what if one of your trucks is in an accident? The day that that happens and you got to file insurance claims and you got to see who was injured, you might be out a driver for a while, that has a negative impact to your business. It doesn't disrupt your entire year if you have a good, solid plan for your business, but it does disrupt a few days and it doesn't feel very good and there's stuff that you have to do. Well, I'm here to tell you that that will happen with trading also. You're going to have a few days where, I had a couple of losses back to back, a couple of days, and that didn't feel very good. And am I doing the right thing? And I just don't know if I can do this. I want you to stay the course over the course of 12 months. And I think what you're going to find is that when you keep your eye on the horizon instead of on the ground right in front of you, that you're going to be pretty happy. So let me show you what I'm talking about. First of all, every single trade that we take on the NASDAQ 100 futures off of a 5-minute chart in our live trading room is recorded on a daily basis. And when I say recorded, I mean we record the detail. We're actually recording starting at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern, 3 a.m. Eastern. Now, full disclosure, there's nobody on my team that's trading live at 3 o'clock in the morning. But what we do, we open the live trading room at 8:45 a.m. But starting around 7 a.m., we start tracking the trades live, and somebody goes back the 4-hour period from 3 to 7 and actually does a replay of the charts. It's very easy to do a replay of the charts and see when the trades came on. I have the advantage on the platform that we use. The Adaptive Entry System software is actually built on top of the TradingView platform. And within TradingView, we can set up alerts. We know exactly what time each of those signals came on. So it's very easy for us to go back and take a look at that. So what we do is we track every single trade, winning and losing trades. Here's a couple of losing trades. Here's a couple of winning trades. Here's a whole bunch of winning trades here. And what we do then is at the end of the day, we look at a daily summary. So every single day is summarized by the day. And you see these categories up here that says 9:30 to noon, 7 to 4, TB plus 10, 7 to 4 all, 8:45 to 4 all plus fractals. So what these are different categories of combinations of time frames and signals that you can trade. And we share all of this detail with our trading community. I'm going to show you where you can actually see it and you can track right along with it. You don't even have to be part of our community, but you're going to have access to it and see what we do on a daily basis. The reason we do that is because we wanted to be able to demonstrate to traders different configurations of signals as well as time frame. So for example, if somebody says, hey, I don't have a lot of time during the day, but I could be available to trade 9:30 to noon. Okay, great. And these are Eastern times. And I'm taking all 4 of the adaptive entry system signals, the momentum, the trend continuation, and the consensus. So what this tells me is that trading the NASDAQ 100 futures, each point of movement is worth $20 per contract. This tells me that today we did 40 points. 40 points times $20 per point, that's $800 of profit per contract today between 9:30 and noon. Well, we have some other people who say, well, I really only want to trade the trends. I only want to follow the trends. And so we track actually from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, just the trend and trend continuation signals, just 2 of the 4 adaptive entry system signals. And this is one of the categories. Both of these are categories that I'm going to share the last 12-month performance on. Well, today I would say, yeah, the trends didn't actually play out very well today. Lost 62 and a quarter points. Now, one individual is not trading both of these categories. So, you know, somebody else in our trading community might have lost 62.25 points trading that today. That's okay. And the reason I say it's okay is because we've got a lot of winning days and we've got losing days, and you're going to have a combination of both. I can scroll back, you know, 228 trading days. That's how much time we have in our database. I'm going to show you one other easier way to take a look at those values too. But that was a losing category. Now 7 to 4 all, we don't translate that onto a personal trading plan, but we do translate 845 to 4 all plus fractals. Fractals are another signal. They're not unique to the adaptive entry system, but we teach about fractals and we trade fractals in addition to the 4 adaptive entry system signals. The reason 845 to 4 is those are the hours of our live trading room. Sometimes we close earlier than 4, depends on what we're doing for the day, but those are the hours of the live trading room. Today was a 15-point losing day, so that was a loss of $300. But this profit and loss column, max profit and max drawdown, which at any point in time was a loss, tells me that at some point earlier today, we're up 20 points. We have in this category, these max loss and max profit categories are related to the 845 to 4. That tells me that at some point, even though we ended the day down 15 points, we had traders who were up 20 points. That's $400. If they're trading a single contract, that's $8,000 a month. That's almost $100,000 a year run rate. And a lot of people stop trading when they're at around $20, $25 or 20, excuse me, 20 to 25 points. Now, one second. One of the things that I like to point out here is our total performance in this category, in my opinion, is ultra conservative because we continue to trade until the end of the day. I'll put you on mute just a minute. Excuse me. We continue to trade to the end of the day. If we were just trading purely our own accounts without an audience, without people in our live trading room, we'd probably be stopping at 20 points or 30 points. But so there are days, for example, today, we're up 20 points at some point, finished the day down 15. Interesting that yesterday at one point we were up 75 points, but we gave some of it back and finished the day up 54.75 points. That's really a great performance for the day. But at one point earlier in the day, we're up 75 points. I don't think if I was up 75 points, I'm going to keep on trading. And there are days like this where we're up 15 points at one point and ended the day down 51. When we say end of the day, the vast majority of traders that participate in our live trading room will not continue to trade when they've had nice positive performance early in the day. They're just not going to do it. You know, here's a day where we're up 35 points early in the day. Vast majority of people in our community are looking for somewhere between 20 to 30 points. And we ended up taking every single signal, recording every single signal, calling them out in the live trading room, and finish down the day 15.25. Why do we do that? We do it because we want to have a full and complete database of the performance of the adaptive entry system. And you're going to see that it's very positive, even though, in my opinion, the reporting of these values are ultra conservative. So another feature of our tracking and what we can share with our trading community is this tool that summarizes in different categories. And this category right here, I can change the parameters. It's a research category. I can change the parameters to whatever I want. If somebody said to me, well, Mark, I can't start trading until 10:30 Eastern time, I can put in 10:30 and they tell me that they only want to trade until 3 o'clock Eastern. I can put in 3 o'clock Eastern. And then based on history, having taken each trade live, I can tell them that for the last 267 trading days, not calendar days, but trading days, the average profit during that period of time is $380.69 per contract. There have been 86 losing days out of the 267 trading days. And the average number of trades during that period of time is you can take just under 21 trades. And the win-loss ratio is just under 73%. So we have all this data that really helps traders understand, well, what could the performance be when I want to trade? And that's why we record from 3 a.m. until the end of the market day. So what do we do with all that data? Well, we actually translate it into a personal trading plan. And the personal trading plan, hold on just a second here. There we go. Personal trading plan is just very simply a spreadsheet format. At the end of every day, we come to the personal trading plan, no matter what we're trading, in this case NQ, and we enter what the profit or loss performance was for that day. We enter in the number of contracts that were traded, round trip contracts that were traded, so that that takes into account fees and commissions. So the values that we're working with are net values, not gross values that then you have to modify and adjust for fees and commissions. So we made $800 today based on 40 points. This is all NASDAQ 100 futures. And we did 14 contracts of trades today. So the net value is 37.2 points, which is $744. So this trading tool, this personal trading plan, helps us understand what our projected income could be in 12 months. Now, this happens to be one of two categories that we've just completed 12 months. And during the first 12-month period, we did $103,308 of profit. That's net profit after fees and commissions. We started the account with $5,000. What we do is we allocate, now remember, this is for futures, but the same principle holds true if you're trading options. And there is a personal trading plan tool for trading options. We start with $5,000, and what we do is we allocate 10% of the balance of the account to risk, 10% of the balance of the account. So we think that that's conservative. That can be changed. Any of these values in blue, you can change, but 10% is allocated to risk. And what the personal trading plan is doing for us is it is calculating up here, first thing, how many weeks are under our belt? Well, we just restarted 12 months, a new 12-month period. So we're less than 1 week under our belt, but the prior year was $103,308. We've had one losing day so far in our first week. Our average winning day in terms of point value is 20.95 points. Remember, it's $20 a point. And our average losing day is 47.27 points. Now, you're going to ask, well, how can that possibly be? You only have three values in there. What this is doing in the second 12-month period is it's carrying forward our run rates from the prior year. So a run rate is a combination of your winning days and your losing days, winning days and losing days, and the frequency of those winning days versus the frequency of losing days, and the value of winning days versus losing days is then calculating forward what our 12-month projected income could be. So right now, having made $103,308 in year one, as of the first part of a week, which is using the last 12 months of run rates, we're projected to make $103,453 in year two. This is going from $5,000 in year one to $103,000, and then resetting to $5,000 in year two. So there's your income. You're taking that $103,000, actually $98,308 out of the account. The one other influencing factor here is the maximum number of contracts. This is where you can decide how much risk you want to employ in the market. Now, for trading futures, we have ours set at a maximum number of 3 contracts. First of all, 3 contracts won't come up at all until maybe September or so, and that's because you got to have more capital in the account in order to trade 2, 3, or more contracts. And the amount of capital that we're willing to allocate to the margin requirement on these contracts is 10% of the balance of the account. So the personal trading plan will naturally increment the number of contracts that we're supposed to trade. And if we follow it diligently, it's like a roadmap for your financial plan for your business. You come in on Friday, the week of August 9th, and if everything is in line with the way the forecast is showing, that's your first day to trade 2 contracts. Then you might have a little bit of a setback and go back to 1 contract, and then there's 2, and so on and so forth until you get up to 3 contracts and you're pretty much 3 consistently. You can change that value though. You can change that to whatever you choose. If I decided I wanted to and was willing and was comfortable trading 10 contracts, a maximum of 10 contracts, because now I have a year of experience, I can do that. It doesn't mean that I'm automatically starting with 10 contracts in the beginning of year 2. It means that I'm waiting for my personal trading plan to scale me up to 10 contracts, which looks like it would happen sometime in about mid to late December. And you can see that the projected 12-month income goes from about 103,000 to 260,000. So this is where, if you really immerse yourself in understanding how to use the tools and how to trade effectively, you don't have to spend all day. This is a 9:30 to noon category. And if you are willing to scale up to a greater number of contracts, it's the same proportionate risk of your total account balance. You can decide whatever your income should be. I'm going to exaggerate. I don't recommend 30 contracts to anybody, but if somebody out there, there's many people I know that trade 30, 40, 50 contracts. If somebody wanted to trade 30 contracts, you have a $500,000 projected income. But again, you're still starting with 1 contract and you're going to scale up to your maximum number of contracts later on in the year. So I'm going to put that back to 3 contracts, and I want to jump over to our second category, which is the 7 to 4 trading just the trend and trend bias. Now today you saw that we had a losing day, but last year in the first 12 months, because we just completed this first 12 months of trading the adaptive entry system in this category, we made $138,610. That also started as a $5,000 account. We're limiting our risk to 10% of the balance of the account. The average run rate for the past 12 months and now 3 days is 23.8 points on a winning day, 48.7 points on a losing day, keeping our contract max at 3. Right now, the projected income for our second 12-month period is $115,971. But we've got a lot of year in front of us. The advantage is that we are using the historical run rates from the prior year. So there's 138,000. Our third category that we're tracking is at about the 6-month mark. Just hit the 6-month mark. We started it on the first trading day in January of 2021. This is our 8:45 to 4, trading all of the adaptive entry system signals plus fractals. Our average run rate for the first 6 months is 35.44 positive, 79.42 negative, and it's using those values right here to forecast forward. So as of the 6-month mark and 3 days, our projected 12-month income, having started with $5,000, in this category from 8:45 to 4 is 172,361. I can't guarantee that that's what we're going to make over the course of 12 months. I've still got 6 months to go. But now that we're halfway through the year, we have some fairly stable run rates. And I don't think that that value is going to change significantly. So that's a pretty healthy run rate from $5,000 to potentially 172,000. And then the last category is one that we refer to as AES 20. One of my team members, Aaron, did an extensive amount of research of our database and learned that if you have a desire to earn 20 points of profit on the NASDAQ 100, and on losing days, you limited your point loss value to 60 points, that gave us kind of an optimum level of performance. So we are just shy about let's see, what is it, about 5 weeks shy of 12 months. We got our run rates established. We have 3 contract max, and this is trading 845 to 4, but we have a daily profit target of 20 points, and we'll stop trading if we hit 60 points of loss. And this is right now, having started with $5,000 again, headed for $128,881 of profit. And like I said, we only have 5 weeks to go. So that 12-month forecast is not going to change significantly. So the point I wanted to make to you is, if you own a small business and you use some sort of accounting, financial forecast software, you got a CPA or you got a bookkeeper, this is nothing more than that. This is being in business for yourself as a trader and using this very, very simple tool, which is available through Options Moneymaker and New Cycle Trading, to forecast forward what your performance is. And when you have a challenging day, look at this, there were 3 days in a row that there were losing days. That can be kind of challenging. And we have traders who will just throw in the towel when that happens because they lose sight of the big picture. You're going to have losses. You will have losing trades. You will have losing days. You'll have series of losing days. You're going to have a lot of series of winning days. And the only thing that really matters, is, what is my average run rate positive? What's my average run rate negative? And what is my full 12-month income forecast? And so if I have a series of losing days and I'm not feeling very good, but I'm on pace to make 125,000, maybe it's dropped off, $3,800 in my forecast. 125,000, I think most people would be pretty happy going from $5,000 that you seed for your trading business, plus some expense that you have to have access to the Adaptive Entry System software and this personal trading plan tool. I think most people would be thrilled to start with $5,000 and know that they are on pace to make over $120,000 for the year. And then take that $120,000 of profit out, restart with another $5,000, and continue to build your trading business and your income. This is, in my opinion, one of the best categories you can trade. There are days where my team member, Aaron, who is hosting the live trading room and calling out these signals for the AES 20, where she sends me a note 45 minutes into our trading day, even before the regular market session opens, and says, okay, we're up 20 points. So those folks who are following along here are done for the day. We have other days where it might go much later in the day, but it's a very productive, not just profit-wise, but it's a very productive use of your time also. So I don't have, somebody's going to ask me, so I'm gonna just head that off. I don't have this level of detail yet for all of the stocks that I know can be traded, or all of the other futures contracts that can be traded, or the cryptocurrency. But what I know is I'm so familiar with the Adaptive Entry System software that when I look at the charts on all those other opportunities, stocks, options, and crypto, there are huge, huge profit opportunities for anybody, no matter what style of trading you choose. You just have to understand how to use the Adaptive Entry System software. So what we've done is, again, we are firm believers in full transparency. Is we have an online link, which I'm going to provide to you here in just a moment, where on a daily basis, you can review the detail of every single trade that we took. So if somebody is skeptical or says, I don't know how they could do that, or maybe it's back tested, none of this is back tested. Every single one of these trades is captured in real time. You can go back and you can validate for yourself. You can look at the charts and you can see that if we took a long position at 1029 off of a 5-minute chart, happens to be a fractal, that we made 5 points of profit. You're going to be able to see whether or not there was enough movement to have 5 points of profit. There's a 1025 trade that when we took short off of the 5-minute chart, trend and consensus signals came on and we lost 20 points. To me, the individual performance of the trades doesn't really matter. What matters to me is what does the overall system produce. And on this same link, which I'm going to provide to you, if you want to track along and get a little more experience with us, you're going to be able to see the daily updates that we do for the personal trading plan. You're going to see right here online exactly what I just showed you. The prior 12-month profits in these two categories, and then where we are in terms of year-to-date projection towards a 12-month income, and here year-to-date projection towards a 12-month income. All of these can be changed on your own personal trading plan if you decide to participate, and you can put in whatever number of contracts that you choose. You can take a look at the daily summary. You can take a look at the averages. You can take a look at all of the data that I just showed you. We provide a link so that you can look at that. And then there are archives of the adaptive entry system completed trading plans because we just completed those two categories the first 12 months. So we want people to participate in our community who have a strong desire to actually learn and trade effectively and want to build their own personal trading business. We don't have any interest in selling a lot of hype and putting something up there that is not something that is achievable. Every one of these trades that you're going to see the detail listed on was taken in a live trading environment, and our trading community follows right along and knows what we are taking, when we won, when we lost. And every single day, we're going to record what the actual profit or loss was for that day, and you're going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to see when we win, you're going to be able to see when we lose, but all I care about is this number right here. I don't really care how many wins and losses I have. I do not really care. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration because, the more wins I have, the better off I am. But as long as my trading for the day is keeping me on pace in this particular category towards $172,000 of income, having started with $5,000, I'm pretty content. Yeah, I can go back and I can bemoan the losing days, and what if I hadn't had that, and what if I didn't take that trade, and I wasn't feeling very good that day, and I didn't do very well that day. Okay, all of those things exist in a normal business. They all exist in a normal business. What if I hadn't sent that driver out with that truck? It was a brand new truck, and that's the one that got crashed. All these things that we second guess. The personal trading plan eliminates a lot of that emotion because at the end of the day, I can close my computer down and I can close my charts down and go, listen, as of today, after 26.8 weeks, I've had 46 losing days, and I'm on pace to make $172,000, having started with just $5,000. So let me show you where you can grab these links here. In order, in my opinion, for you to start a trading business, there are a couple of things you need. And I'll show you what they are here in just a moment, but you can access it at optionsmoneymaker.com/investor2, optionsmoneymaker.com/investor2. What I just shared with you that shows all of the full disclosure, fully transparent trading activity is at newcycletrading.com/AES-results. You can jot down that link. You can keep that link. You can check in every single day and check out what the performance is and what the projected 12-month performance is based on the personal trading plan. Now, we trade futures. We did a lot of research on futures trading and brokers, and not only commissions but service, and also the platform itself. We get no recommendation or referral fee for this. I'll just say, if you have an interest in trading futures, this is for futures traders or somebody who has a desire to be a futures trader. I would strongly advise that you consider trading with Infinity Futures. Glenn Macbeth is our contact there. He's very familiar with what we do, and he's a phenomenal individual when it comes to service. So you can reach him at that phone number, or also g.macbeth at Infinity Futures. So what you really need, in my opinion, in order to get started is the adaptive entry system. So if you go to the link that I just showed you, which is optionsmoneymaker.com/investor2, you're going to get all of the information you need to be able to make a decision about whether or not you're ready to build a trading business for yourself. The adaptive entry system, you can sign up for it at that link, the optionsmoneymaker.com/investor2. The adaptive entry system is a monthly subscription fee, $597 a month. So let's just say $600 a month. That's a $6,000 a year expense commitment for being able to make, possibly, if your performance is reasonably similar to what we've seen, to make over $100,000 a year. That seems like a very reasonable trade-off. That's my opinion, and I've always tried to price our systems and services relative to what the opportunity is for you to make. Now, we do offer, if you sign up for the adaptive entry system at $597 a month, we offer a $300 rebate off the first month. It's really making it an easy decision for you to get involved. So it's $297 for the first month. The live trading room is a recommendation. It's not an absolute must, but it is certainly a strong recommendation, especially for the first couple, 3 months. It's $395 a month. And the reason I recommend it is because that's where you're going to get a lot of real-time education, real-time training on how to effectively use the adaptive entry system signals. So we're trying to make this really easy for you, because the other tool that I think you need is the personal trading plan. So we've put together this offer. It's kind of a, too good to pass up offer. If you sign up for both, the live trading room and adaptive entry system, you get the $300 rebate, but also when you add the live trading room, we're going to give you the personal trading plan free. Otherwise, if you buy it separately, it's $197 one time. It's not an ongoing subscription. So that's kind of a summary of what it costs. Now, I will say, I mentioned earlier that the adaptive entry system is built on the TradingView platform. So TradingView has a ton of applications that are inherently part of their platform, and they allow programmers and developers like us to build unique proprietary systems on their platform. So in addition to that $597 a month, there's about $20 a month for a TradingView subscription. It's not really a big deal. And that $20 a month also provides real-time data feed, which you want into your adaptive entry system charts. So that's kind of a summary. Sign up for the adaptive entry system, $597 a month with a $300 rebate off the first month. Live trading room is strongly recommended. It's absolutely not required to be successful if you want to learn and work through it on your own. The $395 for 1 or 2 months, I think, is invaluable in being able to learn from us as we're trading it live. And when you sign up for both of those, we get the personal trading plan for free. So if you want to dig into this site, there's more detail. You can learn more about the adaptive entry system, signal. You view the performance, which we just went through. But the clicking more, there's a video that you can dig in a little bit more about AES, a little bit more about the live trading room. That's our team right there that hosts the live trading room. And then the personal trading plan, which I mentioned, it's free when you sign up for both AES and the live trading room now, and in addition to the $300 rebate. But if you decide to buy it later, it's $197. It's kind of a nit, in my opinion. Those of you who would like to learn how to trade futures, don't know anything about it, we have a futures education course. If you are looking to learn how to trade options, we have Profit Builder Plus, which is a one-time course fee, but it's an excellent course, and you will teach you everything you want to know about options trading. And then there's an all-in package if you want to sign up for everything and really make a strong commitment to your trading business. But all this information is out here and available for you to look at, make a well-informed decision. I would love for you to buy. That's, why I'm in business. But I would mostly like for those of you who are serious about building a business to make an informed, intelligent choice and make the right decision for you. And if you happen to be one of those people that's going to make that decision for yourself, we are here to help you as much as we can. Just real quick, if you're curious about how do I get started, once you click to buy the adaptive entry system, you're going to have access to setup instructions. There's a little bit of work that you need to do to set it up. It's not complicated at all, and it's well documented here, how to set up the TradingView account, how to set up your charts, and it's very, very well documented. It was put together by our team, step-by-step documentation, which makes it very easy for you to get set up, get started, and on your way to building your own personal trading business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this up on the screen. That link, the optionsmoneymaker.com/investor2, gives you access to all of that information and signing up. And this other link, newcycletrading.com/AES-results, is where you can, on an ongoing basis, view the results, the performance results from our live trading room every day. And so that's the close of what I wanted to share with you, but I would love to take some questions from those of you who may have them, questions or comments. Neil is asking, are the signals, the adaptive entry system signals, happening at the beginning of the bar formation? So Neil, let me go back just for a minute to the, oops, sorry. There we go. Go back to the chart. So the signals themselves may or may not come on at the open of the bar. We have a very simple rule that in order for us to trade a signal, it has to come on within 3 seconds of the open of the bar. 3 seconds. If it doesn't come on within the first 3 seconds of the open of the bar, we tend to take a pass. We're not really concerned about missing signals or skipping signals because there are a lot of signals that are available through the day. We have an alerts log, which we teach you how to set up. And if you're ever in doubt, it's going to show you what the alert was. Let me just see here. I don't have all the alerts set up for AES on this particular machine, but if here's a short continuation, which is a red C, came in at 19:05 and 13 seconds. I wouldn't take that because it's very possible that in that 13 seconds before the signal came on, since the bar opened, that the price has moved enough that it just will not be an advantage to us. Here's a long momentum. We're kind of splitting hairs on this. It came out at 9:15 and 4 seconds, but that is a counter trend signal, and they can have strong impulse moves opposite the trend, so we wouldn't take that. So the answer to your question is the signals can come on at any time during the print of the bar, but we limit our acceptance of the trade to the first 3 seconds. I'm not sure I understand your second question. How are the swing point markers traded? If you want to provide a little clarification on that, I'm happy to try to respond to that. Rob's asking, what's the maximum contracts you would ever do? And please show what it would look like if you stopped at plus 20. each day. So Rob, here we go. The maximum number of contracts would depend on what it is I'm trading. I have no qualms about trading 20 or 30 contracts on NQ. Would I trade 100 contracts on NQ? Probably not. That's a little excessive, and I'm not sure that I would get good fills on that. I would be willing to trade more contracts on ES, but each underlying derivative has a value equation that says I need to pay attention to what the volume is and what the individual price point volume is. And so there's no one right answer, but if you're talking specifically about NQ, I would most likely trade a maximum. I'd feel comfortable trading a maximum of 20 contracts, but I might go up to 30 contracts. But when you look at the personal trading plan, if you look at the personal trading plan and see that, well, I got to jump to the offline version here. See that 10 contracts. What is 10 contracts? If I scale up to 10 contracts, starting with $5,000, that's potentially $162,000 over the course of 12 months, starting with $5,000. So the number of contracts you trade, I think, has to be weighted against what your appetite for risk is, because if you put on 10 contracts, you're going to have some nice profit opportunities, but you also have bigger risk on each of those trades. What would 20 contracts do for you? $211,000. So the number of contracts that you trade is partly driven by your risk appetite, but it's also driven by, well, what is your ultimate desired income goal? If I knew what my desired income was, I'm going to tailor the number of contracts I trade based on that income goal, and I'm going to trade the fewest number of contracts possible that will get me to that income goal. There's a question out here from Paul, just I think really seeking some clarification. Was he mistaken when he thinks I said that each of the trades that we take are live trades? They are traded in the live trading room. Whoever is hosting the live trading room at that point in time is calling out the signal. So we're following right along with the adaptive entry system signals. When this signal comes on, if it came on within the first 3 seconds of the open of the bar, we're going to say we are long on the momentum. And typically when we are trading the NASDAQ 100 5-minute chart, we're looking for between 5 to 10 points of profit. 5 to 10 points of profit. Now there are other ways you can trade where you can get in on a trend and you can hold for the entire trend. There have been some really nice trends lately, 100 points of profit. But typically, for the purposes of training and educating and guiding our live trading room, we're looking for between 5 to 10 points of profit. And so then we're in and we're out. In this case, when this momentum signal came on at 3 o'clock today, it moved from 14,709 up to 14,719 3/4. It hit 10 points of profit. So we're out of the trade. So we're looking for each of those signals and we call them out in the live trading room. We identify them in real time as they are happening. Sin is asking, does AES keep up with the new crypto that are launched? Well, that's up to you to create a watch list. So if I go to my watch list over here within TradingView, you can see I have a few cryptos listed. If I wanted to add a symbol, I can pull up I can click this plus sign in TradingView, and am I adding a future symbol, a stock symbol, Forex, or crypto? And I can click on crypto, and I can scroll down here, and I can find pretty much any crypto that is listed out there. So it's not AES specifically that needs to keep up with new crypto symbols. It is TradingView, which is the underlying platform, the underlying foundation that AES is built on, that's actually keeping up with those. And once I click on one of those, so if I do go to crypto and I say I want to pick one, I know you're a lot more familiar with these than I am, and if I want to pick whatever this one is, Chainlink Tethers, once I click on it, it is listed at the bottom of my watch list. And I can move things around to group all of my cryptos together. So I can keep a watch list, and anytime I want to look at any one of them, I have my chart open. I can click on Bitcoin and it changes to Bitcoin. Ethereum changes to Ethereum. I can go look at the diamonds, which is ETF for the Dow. I can look at Facebook, all just right from the watch list that I've created. Rob's saying when you scaled up to 10 contracts, it didn't triple from the original 3. Is that right? So let me see what you're referring to, Rob. So if I go over here and I'm going to go to the one that we're 6 months into, and I scale up to 10 contracts, it doesn't triple. Let me go back to 3. What was the number? 172. Yeah, it's not going to triple because we're already 6 months into the 12-month period. And all of this blue shaded are trades that are already in our history. That's in our history. So those values are not going to change. But if I decided I wanted to trade 10 contracts, I could start trading 10 contracts tomorrow based on the fact that I'm limiting my exposure to 10% of the balance of the account. So whatever I decide I want to trade is not automatically going to triple it because I've got history in there. If I went to my 2 newer categories, 103,000 if I went to 10 contracts, 260,000. It's based on my run rates from last year, and also that the 10 contracts is going to be scaled in when I have enough value in the account, which isn't really until the latter part of December. Jay is asking in the live trading room, do we call out the S&P 500 future signals or just the NASDAQ 100? We only call out the NASDAQ 100 because that keeps us plenty busy. But I will show you what the chart looks like when we're displaying it in the live trading room. Here's the NASDAQ 100 futures. This is what our community is actually looking at. We're trading the NASDAQ 100 futures because, there's just a realistic capacity issue when we have one person calling out signals. It's just not possible to call out every one of the signals. But for people who want to also look at trading Russell 2000 or ES, we have those charts available. So as long as you're comfortable in understanding and interpreting the signals, you can follow right along with us in the live trading room. And of course, you can follow along with your own subscription to the AES software. Yeah, Rob, the AES 20 only has 7 weeks left in this year. So the forecast changing to a larger number of contracts is not going to be that dramatic of a change because the majority of what's being incorporated in that forecast as of right now is in our history. But when you get to the beginning of a new period, like I showed you on the 9:30 to noon, which is really just 3 days into the second year, and you change the value of your contracts, the maximum number of contracts, that's when you're going to start to see a bigger change in the forecast, the 12-month forecast. All right, so folks, I don't see any other questions or comments out here. I'm going to go ahead and close out. I just want to close by saying I really appreciate you investing some of your time here. If you have any desire to be a trader, whether it's a crypto trader, options trader, stock trader, futures trader, the adaptive entry system software, in my opinion, is an absolute must. If you want to use the personal trading plan, you don't have to use the personal trading plan to be a successful trader, but I think it is a tremendous guide. If you run a small business, as I know many of you do, you've got a bookkeeper somewhere, you've got maybe you're using QuickBooks or using something that shows what your expenses are and what your income is and what that projects out for your net income. That's all the personal trading plan is. It's helping you on a daily basis keep an eye on the horizon and not get emotionally tied up in the losing days or even the euphoria of big winning days, because you're going to have a balance of those throughout the year. So I think the personal trading plan is important, and the best package we can offer you right now is, like I said, the sign up for the adaptive entry system. You get $300 rebate off the $597 first month. Add the live trading room to it for a month or two, and you're going to get the personal trading plan for free. That's a heck of a combination right there. So you're really making a commitment of, let's just say for the first month, $297 plus $395, $692 plus $20 for TradingView. You're making a commitment of $712 for 1 month to get yourself situated in business, and then decide how you want to move forward from there. That $712 is, a fraction of the opportunity, the income opportunity that you have out in front of you. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, my posse's all resting. They had a long day today. So, all right. So, folks, sincerely appreciate you being here. I'm going to close out. If you are interested in reviewing this, Dorothy, my assistant, is going to be sending out recording, giving access to recording sometime tomorrow morning. And we'd love to see some of you in the live trading room. We'd love to see some of you taking advantage of the offer we have out there for the AES system. It by far is, in my opinion, the most powerful tool you could have. Now I say that, but we are working on the next generation system. We're always working on something that will give us a little bit more opportunity. And we have started to work with a handful of one-on-one coaching clients who have signed up for a 6-month personal coaching, and we're working through the adaptive entry system software with them, as well as a newer system that is really just coming online. So we are always in the process of developing more concrete systems, more opportune profit opportunity systems. And if you're part of our community, we have your vested interests in mind, and that's why we do that. So again, thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and close out now. Hope to see many of you in our live trading room.